In a bustling town surrounded by mountains and meadows, there was a little shop called Wind and Wonders. It was run by an eccentric woman named Eleanor, who was known for crafting the most unusual items, from candles that never melted to scarves that warmed up on their own. But what Eleanor treasured the most was an old umbrella she had inherited from her grandmother. It wasn't just any umbrella, it was a magical one that could fly. The umbrella had a glossy red canopy with golden swirls etched along its edges and a handle shaped like a bird in flight. Eleanor had named it Zephyr. Though she rarely used it, she kept it displayed in a glass case near the counter of her shop. Visitors often asked about it, drawn to its beauty, but Eleanor would only smile and say, "Zephyr is special." One blustery afternoon, a young boy named Felix wandered into the shop. Felix was known in the town as the fearless dreamer because of his wild imagination and his endless desire for adventure. He was always sketching maps of places he wanted to explore and inventing stories about fantastical lands. Today, however, Felix looked unusually glum. Eleanor noticed and approached him. "What's the matter, Felix?" she asked gently. Felix sighed and held up a crumpled piece of paper. "There's a hot air balloon festival in the next valley," he said. "I've always wanted to go, but it's too far to walk, and my family doesn't have a way to get there." Eleanor studied the paper and then glanced at Zephyr. She hesitated for a moment before reaching into the glass case. "Perhaps Zephyr can help," she said, handing the umbrella to Felix. Felix's eyes widened. "But it's just an umbrella," he said, confused. Eleanor chuckled. "Zephyr isn't just an umbrella. Hold on tight and say, 'Take me to the skies.'" Skeptical but curious, Felix gripped the handle and spoke the words. Immediately, the umbrella's canopy opened, and a strong gust of wind swirled around him. Before he knew it, he was lifted off the ground, soaring into the air. Felix let out a laugh of pure delight as Zephyr carried him above the rooftops and over the town. The view was breathtaking. Below, he could see the cobblestone streets winding through the town, the green fields dotted with grazing sheep, and the sparkling river that meandered through the valley. As Zephyr flew higher, Felix felt a rush of freedom he had never known before. The journey to the next valley was exhilarating. Zephyr glided gracefully through the clouds, occasionally dipping low enough for Felix to spot deer in the forests and fishermen casting their nets in the river. The wind played with his hair, and the sun warmed his face. Felix felt like a true adventurer, just as he had always dreamed. When they reached the valley, Felix gasped in awe. The hot air balloon festival was a kaleidoscope of colors. Dozens of balloons, each more vibrant than the last, floated gently in the sky. Music and laughter filled the air as people below cheered and waved. Felix landed softly on a hill overlooking the festival, his heart racing with excitement. For hours, Felix explored the festival. He marveled at the enormous balloons, tasted delicious treats, and even helped a balloon pilot tie down a rogue balloon. Everywhere he went, he shared the story of how he had flown there on a magical umbrella, leaving both children and adults wide-eyed with wonder. As the sun began to set, Felix realized it was time to return home. He found a quiet spot, held onto Zephyr, and whispered, "Take me home." The umbrella lifted him into the twilight sky, where the fading sunlight painted the clouds in hues of orange and pink. It was a sight Felix would never forget. When he landed back at the shop, Eleanor was waiting for him with a knowing smile. "How was your adventure?" she asked. "It was incredible," Felix exclaimed. "Thank you, Eleanor. I'll never forget this." Eleanor nodded. Zephyr has a way of finding those who need a little magic in their lives. But remember, it's not just the umbrella that made your journey special. It was your courage and imagination that turned it into an adventure. Felix looked at Zephyr, now folded neatly in his hands, and smiled. "Can I keep it?" he asked hopefully. Eleanor shook her head. "Zephyr must stay here for others who may need it. But the memories you've made are yours to keep forever." Though disappointed, Felix understood. He handed the umbrella back to Eleanor and thanked her again. As he walked home, His mind buzzed with new stories and adventures inspired by his journey. From that day on, Felix's sketches became more detailed, and his tales more vivid. He told everyone about the magical umbrella and the wonders he had seen. While some laughed and called it a fanciful story, others listened with wide-eyed belief. And in the little shop of wind and wonders, Zephyr waited patiently, ready to carry the next dreamer into the skies. Eleanor, watching from her counter, knew that the magic of Zephyr wasn't just in its ability to fly. It was in the way it reminded people to dream, to believe in the extraordinary, and to seek adventure, even in the most ordinary of days.